We're talking about politics.
Everyone's favorite. Big government.
Oh, taxes?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be talking about them right now.
What? So, since everybody's gone, disappeared, without no explanation at all, the government, that's me, got no choice but to, what's that word? Oh yeah, impound all their property and finances. And, by the way, seeing as how half the Kree Empire ain't around no more, anybody who's left will have to make up the difference. Starting now, all yous is gonna be paying double taxes. This'll impound, that ain't right, I mean, ensure continued strength for the military, bolster the economy in the whole empire, and allow your beloved emperor, me, to live in the style crash.
Okay, we are talking right now, post-disappearance in the Infinity Gauntlet. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We dive into the issues, and we are going through every issue of the Infinity Gauntlet. Issue number 53 of Silver Surfer. This is a very, very interesting turn that this saga goes into. We have effects of the disappearance, and we're seeing them play out in the Marvel Universe. What happens when half of the society that you are waking up to and expecting going to be there every day just disappears?
Just in the last video we did, we saw the little kid who lost both his parents.
Right.
You know, that's a weird, hardcore example, but yeah, people are gone.
Yeah,
your life's changed.
Case scenario. And some people's it's their loved ones, some people it's their family. And, you know, we've seen airplanes crash. We see cars just crash. This is just pure chaos. But this didn't just happen on Earth. This happened across the universe.
To people Thanos probably wasn't even aware of.
And on planets where there are governments now seeing a ruckus happen. I mean, half their society disappeared. Half their military disappeared.
Good point.
Half
all
of
the citizens,
everything.
the tax base has all disappeared, which kind of is what happens in this issue.
See, this is the first time we see the story take a turn to where we're not learning about any character.
No?
Right? There's no progression to any character in this issue.
Nobody we are familiar with at all in this entire run is in this issue.
It's like the editor said, hey, do something else.
Show us the effects elsewhere. Give us a taste of what it's like out in the rest of the galaxy.
What could happen if a government were to become corrupted when the opportunity presented itself, such as this one, such as the mass disappearance?
Yeah, this is a pretty chaotic moment, and a scrupulous or an unscrupulous person could choose to sort of seize more power for themselves after a situation like this, and that's exactly what happens on the Kree Empire.
Last weekend's video was issue number 52 of Silver Surfer, where it was more Drax focused.
Yes.
We're seeing more character development there, and we had a really good comment
From Paul Milton. Great video, chaps. Thank you. For me, this Drax is so much better, and it is such a shame that he is used for comedy most of the time in the films. Even when he tells of his family being killed, he does not come across as a man who suffered such a loss. In the comics, you can feel he is broken.
Ooh, that is summing it up better than I did in last week's video.
A lot quicker, too. We took our time, but it was a good discussion.
Well, it was so fresh, you know? It was like I was so tired of Drax being this just kind of a burden to the storyline, and you see here why. It's like, no, he's got his own thing. Characters across this whole saga, they're all dealing with something themselves. It's like each individual has their own goal, and then together they share the common goal of trying to save the universe. You know, we mentioned last week, like Drax, you wouldn't even need him to be in the story in the 6 issues if you didn't read the crossovers, because Drax has his whole storyline there. But issue number 53 picks up right here with this king who's going to be changing taxes, and he's trying to just take advantage of this opportunity. And this is just one example that I'm sure is happening across the stars.
Right.
You know, imagine the chaos. We're so focused on Earth, but imagine the chaos across different planets.
And we're dealing with superheroes and crazy cosmic beings trying to stop this from happening. But for 99.99999% of everyone else in the world, they're going to be dealing with this by governments, by taxes, by people struggling to figure out how to get around this. Like if this happened in our real world, how would we deal with this? Watch The Leftovers, by the way, for a pretty good example of how that goes down. That's a good show on HBO.
Ooh, there you go.
Anyway.
So this issue is going to show that. Issue number 53, and there's a rebellion forming.
This really corrupt emperor uses the disappearance of all these people to increase everyone's taxes so he can continue to live large. And the soldiers in the empire are not very happy about this. There's 2 generals. I wrote their names down because they're space names. General Ildan, and General Dar Ben. So I had to write those down. Those are confusing, and I'm never going to keep those straight. But they kind of formulate this plan to take this emperor out of power and get themselves in charge.
They want to televise it too.
Sure. Yeah, that's their ultimate plan. They don't want to, poison him or poison his food.
Society needs to see this take place so that when they're the ones that save the day, they can get
kind of the credit and the love for it. Because if they think, if the news comes out like, oh, he had a heart attack in his sleep because he was eating all of our food. So like people would be like, oh, well, that's a natural cause. And who are these yahoos, coming in, taking over now? But if they kill the guy, like, right. I guess the plan seems kind of shady, but it does kind of.
They don't think they can do it. Like they're already getting pushback. This is a very elaborate plan, but there's a secret weapon. Right. Who is the secret weapon?
The Silver Surfer?
What?
That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
he's busy.
So and this is one of those reasons why I love going through all these issues. It's like, we know exactly what Silver Surfer is doing right now.
Yes.
Like we know that he is not here.
There's not in the Kree homeworld plotting and scheming against an empire.
I'm like, that cannot be Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like I know that's not Silver Surfer. And then you come to find out that this isn't Silver Surfer.
No. Spoilers for the very end of this issue, but no, it's a robot.
No, it's a robot that they created so that when the Emperor gets killed by Silver Surfer.
Correct. They come in and kill Silver Surfer and look like the heroes, and they impose martial law and take over this whole thing for themselves.
My favorite panel of this issue is the remains of the robotic Silver Surfer.
On that table?
Like the whole society sees Silver Surfer get blasted, and all that's left is his feet. Yeah. And no one thought,
that's convenient.
That's convenient. And also, like, that's kind of lucky. That's like throwing the water bottle and having it land at just the right spot. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or like throwing the ball into the cup from across the room, like beer pong status. Yeah. It's like you kill Silver Surfer with such a harsh laser beam that all that's left is his legs still standing there.
There's no possible way we can investigate his remains. Looks like it's just done. Let's get his feet out of here, and we're now in charge.
And they like pick it up. And there's just like these pieces. It's like it looks like a
with
rope.
Wires and circuits and
They're
stuff.
Like, this is fine.
It's fine. Nobody look.
Turn
the cameras off. Yeah, it's not the cleanest.
It's kind of a JFK type of situation here.
Sure. Yeah. Except they pull JFK off way smoother, if you ask me. But that's okay.
All right. So we have now an entire society who thinks that Silver Surfer assassinated.
I really want to see where this goes.
This is so exciting.
Yeah, because they all think he killed their leader.
Yeah.
And then died. And now he's out there trying to save the entire universe from Galactus. Or not he's out there trying to save the entire universe from Thanos now.
Correct.
So.
Oh, geez. We have so much to discuss. I want to know from the audience, what is your favorite reason for a government to double its taxes because of the fact that half the population disappeared? Do you have any examples you can provide, Ryan?
So you're the ruler of, planet X or whatever, and you're in charge, and you want to get double the money from half the people somehow. How do you do that? What kind of like fake reason do you give for, give me more of your money?
Yeah, we need to double your taxes because
I literally can't think of anything.
I know I'm having trouble thinking about.
They're all really lame, but I think the question is pretty funny.
I don't know. Maybe someone will come up with something really interesting. Like what would be your next panel? Like we have to do this.
There's an epidemic of like killer bees everywhere, and we need to hire a bunch of people with big nets to catch all the bees so you don't get stung.
Yeah, a lot of you don't know that there are these oxygen.
You haven't seen them anywhere, but they're out there. Yeah, they're coming.
Oxygen has become infected.
We gotta pay us a bunch of money to clean all the oxygen.
This is the oxygen tax, and if we don't tax you double, you won't be able to breathe pretty soon.
So give me.
I see you got a couple. Put your answers in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we're gonna pick this up next week when we find out.
I think we're doing Silver Surfer 54 next. I'm pretty sure that's the next one up.
Ooh, so look out for that. We do appreciate your time, and as always,
geek responsibly, people.
Enough said. Thank you so much for watching the video. And remember, if you would like to help support the podcast, support the production, and you shop on eBay, you can do just that by shopping on eBay. You click the link below, and rather than paying eBay the full fee that you would otherwise pay, we get a kickback. We get half, and you can help support the podcast.